traditional face of Africa, its customs and colourful ceremonies are now confined to meeting the demands of its tourist trade. For this great continent is moving rapidly towards the social and economic ways of the rest of the world. Nairobi is typical of the new cities of Africa. A centre of commerce and industry throughout the year, the capital of Kenya takes time off for a few days every Easter to play host to the motor rallying fraternity of the world. Here, amid the brass bands and yelling crowds, is the focal point, the start, control and finish of the famous East African Safari Rally. This rally, considered to be the toughest of the lot, has caught the imagination of the motoring world and has grown from a modest local affair to this, the 17th to be held, and with a large entry of top international teams and drivers. Under the patronage of President Kenyatta, who receives a special badge for the occasion, the rally has become one of the largest events outside the European calendar. Yet, in spite of the international entries, a European driver has never won this rally. Bengt Söderström of Sweden explains to a television reporter.
Never won this rally. I think local drivers have more practice in the safari route. I think we go too fast. We broken car. This go very slowly, not service, nothing. Go every road.
But you have experience now for 3 years. Do you have more chances this year?
I think we have very good car, we have good chance, but I hope to go to finish.
Jürgen Singh, you won in 1965. One final question. You know, a European has never won this rally. What do you think is the reason?
Well, I think we have been very unlucky so far, but if they keep trying, one of these days they're going to win it.
Is it a disadvantage that you don't live in this country?
It is, yes, I should say. It's the same thing if I went to Europe. I have been to Europe and I tried my best to do well up there, but instead of just by finishing, I've not come anywhere near winning there.
First away in car number 1 are local drivers Robin Hillier and Jock Ed, driving a Ford 20M RS. This is the first time these cars have been entered for the safari. The thoughts of many thousands of Ford employees in Germany are with them as they set off for over 3,000 miles of the worst conditions that East Africa can inflict on machines and men. Scandinavian rally aces Bengt Söderström and Gunnar Palm are off in car number 2, another 20M with a 2.3-litre engine. One of the first hazards is to get out of Nairobi and into the bush without taking any enthusiastic spectators with you. These days, nearly 100 cars are entered for this rallying rough and tumble, and it's not unusual for 80% to fall by the wayside. In 1963, there were only 7 survivors. Spring rains and clinging brown mud has often been the driver's downfall. But in this year of 69, the pre-safari days have produced burning sun and dry, rock-like surfaces. The unmade African roads are all ready to knock the stuffing out of car suspension systems. The 20M of Söderström and Palm. Altonen and Lidden, well known on the Monte Carlo rally scene in their Lancia Fulvia. Since the giant Swede, Erik Karlsson, was a familiar figure on the safari routes, the Saab entries have always been prominent in this rally. drivers must check in at 51 time control points before they can relax and call it a day. Scores of local volunteers give up their time to man these stations. As the officials have set an average speed of 60 miles per hour throughout the 4 days and nights of the rally, every second counts when the wheels are not turning. The first night closes down rapidly on the leading drivers. The two Ford 20M cars and a British Ford Cortina driven by Vic Preston and Bob Gerish are leading the field on points. Jokinder Singh in his Volvo, Yamil Din in a Datsun, Tony Fall with a Lancia and Mike Armstrong in a Peugeot are all well placed. The route crosses the equator 6 times. Up through the highlands of Kenya, often at over 9,000 feet above sea level, down through Uganda, around part of Lake Victoria, back into Kenya to the harbour town of Malindi, and through Mombasa. And most of the way it's dust, dust, and dust again.
Just the rough road, eh?
Apart from the rough conditions of the road, and they're not really roads anyway, Africa adds its own bit of spice by the many animals that wander about in front of the speeding cars. By the end of the second day, several entrants are out of the running, cursing their luck for having to swerve to avoid the four-legged obstacles and ending up in a ditch. A welcome rest for the drivers at the halfway stage in Kampala, where the cars are put into a parc fermé. Of the 85 starters, 38 have already given up. The bars are full of talk of punctures, twisted bodywork, smashed windscreens, and quite a few damaged engines and suspensions. Soderstrom leads with 106 penalty points, Vic Preston has 111, and Pat Hillier 123. So it's 20M, Cortina, and 20M all in a healthy position. And Ford Hope's riding high. Second night, and the cars roar into the checkpoints of the coastal towns. Once the rally is underway again, everybody is out on the scene, some giving practical assistance, some just spectators.
Car number one, Dr. Lapatu. Car number Moja. Is car number two, also lying in second place. Soderstrom is declaring the thunderstorm. Soderstrom and Town has now come into the control, reporting in last car number 22. And we have another car coming in now.
Communications are vital in this huge rally, and police radios, amateur radios, airfield networks, telephones and teleprinters are all utilized to keep the central control informed of the rally progress.
I'll come up at 4:30, yes, and we'll check via the radio, not via the police message, by the way.
The Voice of Kenya television station keeps up an almost continuous transmission on this, one of the big events in the Kenyan year.
Nhà này về đây. Ora dana na guru gana koji de neki endo.
Gracias a Dios ganaron.
It's 9 o'clock on Easter Monday morning in a still sunny Nairobi, and the crowd have been collecting since dawn. The first cars come in to the clamour of the crowd, the cameramen and television reporters. Those crossing the line and mounting the ramp are not the winners, for behind the scenes in the control room, the last frantic calculations are being made and the vital points are totted up. And it's the Ford 20M RS that moves onto the rostrum. In spite of crashing into a non-rally car only a few miles from the finishing line, the shouts of victory go up for car number one. First to leave on the Thursday afternoon and now overall winner. A great moment for Robin Hillier and Jock Air, and a terrible test of men and machines in that proving ground of modern saloon cars, the East African Safari Rally.